Roger is here, yeah. Roger, you going home?
Oh yeah. What? Bro. Can't hold me hostage. Do my hot knock. Yeah.
All right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the homework, and you let me know what you don't understand.
All right.
Look how beautiful mine is. All right. You must understand. Watch the video.
Okay.
Hi, Roger.
Hi, Roger. Goodbye, class.
Bye, Roger. 6 years.
Yeah, there's sound.
I don't know.
Just
Told me that it was muted.
all right. If you still don't know how to do it, I'm gonna guide you to do it, but it's gonna be much faster paced than yesterday. So I am gonna graph a line here. And I'm gonna color code each restriction. So the first one, I'm gonna use blue. So blue is gonna be from greater than 5. So something from here to here. I don't graph anything not in there. Does that make sense? Only graph the X values there. And the second one is gonna be red. It's gonna be from here to here. And the third one is gonna give you from -2 to 0. So we're gonna choose that's green one. From -2 to 0. And this one, last one, Elizabeth says, I don't know how to graph this one.
Yeah, I Desmoed it.
Yeah.
Is that what we're supposed to do?
No, you're supposed to graph it and then Desmo.
Right. Well, I didn't know how to graph it, so we recognized
We're gonna
it.
show you. All right. So this one's blue, so we're gonna stay with blue, and we're gonna change the other color to red so that way you can see it. So let me do that now before I forget. This one is the style red, and the next one is the style of. Oops, my bad. This one is gonna be style of the green, I believe, and the last one is gonna be the style of. Which color should I pick? Purple. Okay, so purple. Yeah, there we go. So we have aligned now correctly. We have followed the restriction. We plot in the point in the correct restriction. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about this one. We're gonna start with a blue one. Blue one is start with -1. Blue one's gonna be start with -1, right? And it's gonna go down 4, right 5, like this. And but I don't graph here. I graph start from here down 4, 4, right 5. It's right here. So and then that's equal to. So it's this point, right? So this blue point, and it's gonna down 4, right 5. So it's gonna be here, and it's gonna be extension to that. Any question about this part? Because I don't graph anything before 5. I start graphing at 5 because this is what the blue region tells me from here to here. Is that okay? Am I going too fast?
What do you call that?
Restriction, domain restriction. Yeah, down 4, right 5. Yeah.
We start from the -1.
You start -1, you go down 4, right 5, but we don't graph that. Because we only graph from x greater than 5. So it's going to go from here. Is that okay? That's why I put a restriction. That's why I put a color code here to show you like a star graph, the blue line only on the blue region. Yes, Arthur.
In Desmos, can you put the restriction?
You can using brace if you pay attention. Yesterday I told you that. Gotta pay attention. Okay. I always teach you everything. I never hide away from teaching anything. So you guys just have to pay attention stuff. If you don't understand, you can ask me. So the second one is red, so it's gonna be go and grab 2, and that's gonna give you like this. Do you realize I have passed vertical line test so far? Okay. Now, Elizabeth, I cannot talk over you, so you're gonna have to figure out a way. Okay, so I hear the all open circle. But this one is gonna be a open circle here as well, but it's the green one because I plus 2, and you see this is 1/2, so m is equal to 1/2 can both be negative. That means if both negative is positive, right? Because I want to track the line backwards, so I have to go down 1, left 2, so I can go to this point here. Otherwise I have to grab this way, which is that's not what we want. So we're gonna erase this part. So we know that they can be both negative, it still end up to be positive. And then that's that. Now, lastly, people says, I don't know how to graph the last one. So Elizabeth, I hear this is called point slope form. This here 2, and this is -3, opposite sign. Because point slope form, every time inside the parenthesis is opposite sign. So it's -2 and +3. And the slope is equal to -3/2. So that means I'm going to go to -2, +3. And -2, +3 is right here. And it's an open circle. Is that okay? -2, +3. And that is going to go down 3, right 2, but I don't like this one because I'm going to say it's 3/2. So it's going to be up 3 and left 2. So up 3, left 2. Up 3, left 2. Let me double make sure. Up 3, left 2. Does that make sense for everybody? Elizabeth, understand? What you didn't understand before? Maybe you can share with us what you didn't understand before.
I didn't understand. I didn't know about the negative and the positive thing, like the switching the signs.
Oh, okay. Well, you can switch to the bottom because one negative sign they can flow, but if they both positive sign, they can change it to both positive. Did that help you?
Yeah.
Okay. So now f of 10. The easiest way to get 10 is hopefully you graph it correctly. If you graph it correctly, you're gonna get an answer right away because you can literally go to 5 and you can go to 10 here and you can see that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It should have given you a -9. Is that okay? And if you do the calculation, you would get -9 as well because you are plugging 10 here. So if you plug in 10 here, 10 and 5 will simplify. That's why I teach you guys simplify fraction. 10 and 5 is going to simplify to 2. And then it's going to be -8 minus 1 is going to give you -9. So you can get an evaluation. So it's not a coordinate. It's actually the output. What happened when f is 10? If x is the input, the output is -9. Yes. Great question. Can anybody answer it, Josiah? Yes, Elizabeth.
Because of the restrictions, right?
Yes, because of restrictions. Okay, explain to her the restrictions.
So you plug the f of 10 into the one that has the restriction of x is greater than or equal to 5 because 10 is greater than or equal to 5.
Did that answer your question, Josiah? And I want her to answer a question because when I say it, nobody understand. Like when she said it, everybody understand. Must be she's white.
I was gonna say. It's the accent.
I can explain it.
Yeah, it's an accent. Not an Asian accent.
I need to show you my mystery accent.
Okay. No, sometimes when students say something, they understand better. When I send it, it's like, well, you're smart. You're supposed to know this, and I still don't know after you explain it. But they are afraid to ask the following question. So, but it's better that you ask question, and it's also better for you guys to willing to explain the question, because sometimes if you go to next year calculus, you're gonna have to explain a lot of things to other kids. You'll find out the people do the most experience, the most explaining, they always end up with the highest grade. And look at Alexa, like 6 people is in that group. It's because everybody want her to explain things, but she has the highest grade. So if you are if you are able to do something, if you can teach it, you are better than anybody else. Okay, so Josiah, since you say you understand, so 2.5, what's f of 2.5? Okay, so can I plug in anything on the second one? Yeah, you do put in the second one because it's 2.5 is between 0 to 5. But how do you put it in? So, yeah, there's no x. So your output is automatic is always 2. And you can tell that from the graph too. At 2.5 here, guess what? The output is 2. And if you don't understand, because there's nothing to plug in, so your output has to be 2. Does that make sense? Okay. F of -1. Yop, what's f of -1? What's your equation do I plug in? Look at it there. Look at it there. What's the f of -1? What's your equation? Do I plug in the green equation, red equation, or blue equation, or the purple equation? Huh? The green one. Okay, so what happens when you plug in -1? You're gonna get -1/2 plus 2. So what do you get? -1.5. Okay. Is it -1.5? It's positive 1.5, right? Okay, so it'll be 3 over 2. And you can see that here is positive 1.5. If you look at the graph carefully, it's positive 1.5. But with the condition, you had the graph correct in order to do that. So for me, I would double check by plugging the actual function to make sure that's correct. Okay, so the next one is gonna be f -6. Of course, -6 is right here. And we can tell it's, ooh, I don't know where that point is. Guess what? I actually have to evaluate this. So be y minus 3 is equal to -3 over 2 times -6 plus 2. That's equal to -3 over 2 times -4. So that is going to give you wait. Oh, I look at the graph wrong. Okay, so that's gonna give you a positive 6, y minus 3, and then add 3, so y equal to 9. So obviously I cannot read, I thought this is -6, but this is actually -5. -6 right here, I could have got it from the point there. But regardless, I find out is equal to 9. I like the glasses. If you squint anymore, you won't even be Asian. You'll be blind.
I'm confused on how you.
I like to make fun of our race. Sorry.
No, you gotta specify.
Why was it when he came here you said get out?
Who?
He's like Brazilian, and then you told him to get out as soon as he came.
What's your least favorite race?
Answer.
Koreans, actually.
No.
Good answer. Which one? North or south?
It's because of his brother. It's not her. Ray Hung and Rayhan's smart. Yes.
I'm confused on how you solved f of -6, like with the equation.
-6. I plug in -6 in here, and I solve for y, because y is the output. So I plug in -6 here plus 2. This is -4, and this one is going to be positive 12 over 2. and that's gonna be 6. I can move the 3 to the other side to becomes 9.
So you didn't multiply the 2 by you.
I can if I want to, but I don't multiply 2 by everything because I don't want to get too wide. But eventually multiply 2 by everything, it would work too. And then lastly, please check on decimals. Verify on the decimals, see if the graph is right or wrong. I'm not gonna graph those two. I'm gonna graph this one, however. That's the one maybe I didn't teach you how to graph. But 2x minus 3y is equal to 6. You can get minus 3y equal to negative 2x plus 6. Remember I say solve for y. And I can divide it by negative 3. And divide it by negative 3. So that's going to be y equal to 2 over 3x minus 2. So now the second function, I'm just going to graph very quickly on that function. So I don't have time to go through all that because I want to teach a new topic. But hopefully you guys understand how to do piecewise function. So I'm going to kind of fast track everything. So let me see how fast I can do this. 1, 2, 3. So this is 1, and then go up to right 3. So it's going to start right here. It's going to be open circle. It's going to go this way. Is everybody okay here?
Yes.
And negative 2 is going to be the black line. So it's going to be from here to solid point here and then open circle here. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the last one is going to be negative 2. So it's negative 2 there. And the slope is equal to 2 over 3 or negative 2 over negative 3 because I'm going to go down 2, left 3. Wait, hold on, say down 2, left 3. Down 2, left 3. Yeah, down 2, left 3 is going to go in here. And we're going to fill in the circle now and the open circle this way. Is that okay? And the last one is going to give you this point is negative 3, comma, negative positive 4. So negative 3, comma 4, negative 3, comma 4 is going to be an open circle. I think this. And it's going to be 4 over 3, so it's going to be like this. And that's the final graph. Now you're going to plug in f of 8, just plug in whatever. This one's going to be, I think, 16 over 3. 19 over 3? Yeah. Okay, 1.2 doesn't matter. 1.2 or 1.5 doesn't matter, right? So it's always going to be negative 2. Negative 1.5 for x, that's going to give you a negative 3 minus 3y equal to 6. So that's going to be negative 3y equal to 9. And that's going to give you a negative 3. It's negative 3? No, 9 over negative 3. So it's negative 3. Yeah, negative 3. You can see from the graph. And negative 6 is going to give you y minus 4 equal to 4 over 3 times negative 6 plus 3. So it's negative 3. It's negative 4. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. That doesn't make sense. Is it 0?
Yeah.
You got 0? But my graph is not matching though. It's off. Hold on. Negative 6 plus 3 is going to be negative 3. Negative 4. Negative 4 plus 4. It should be 0. So my graph is off. So why is off? Is my graph wrong? Yeah, go down 4, right 3. Yeah, you're right. I need to check that slope. So that is gonna be here. So yeah, it is correct now. It was a go down 4, left 3. Down 4, left 3. So I had a down 3, right, left 4. So do you see I passed vertical line test the whole way? Yeah? Okay. Today's stuff. Let's talk about how to find inverse function. No, my OCPS account is locked, so I cannot pass back the test. I don't know why it's locked, but no, that whole district's locked. No, some teachers lock it. But I think mine is alphabetical order, so my last name is Y. So they try to update all the people alphabetical order. So I'm like the last one. Okay. David, can you wake up him? Okay. So how do I find inverse function and what is inverse functions? Okay. You have to understand inverse function very well because it's very emphasized on pre-calc, or it's actually one of the most important thing as well. So we're gonna go through that. How to find inverse function, even function, odd function. We're gonna go through all that. So f of x. Now it's a little bit of algebra 2 and pre-calc now. It's finally like we got into this point. Finally, we can start like something that's a little bit different. Okay, so let's just say f of x equal to 3x minus 4. And we say find f inverse of x. So for most of you guys thought that this is -1 power. This does not read as -1 power. It reads f inverse of x. It reads of f inverse of x. If you ever have this conversation with another kid says f -1 power to the x, I will kick you. Physically, I'll kick you as author. I will kick you. The reason being is it's not f -1 power because -1 power people think is this. And this is not correct. This is not correct. So it's not this. So that's why you don't read as negative power because it's not proper way to say it. You just read f inverse of x always. So this is wrong. This is a better way to read it. So make sure you read it correctly so you can do your math correctly. Otherwise, it's going to misguide you because -1 power, you're going to be -1 power is 1 over f of x. It's not true. That's a reciprocal rather than inverse. Okay? So how do I find inverse? 4 steps. 1, change f of x to y. Second step, switch x and y. Is that okay? Third, solve for new y. Fourth, change the y to f inverse of x. So that will be an inverse function. Yeah, switch x and y. So I'm going to follow those 4 steps. Y equal to 3x minus 4. That's the first step. Second step, x equal to 3y minus 4. I switch the x and y. Is that okay? And then I'm going to solve for y, so I'm solving for this, right? So y is equal to 3y is equal to x plus 4. And then y equal to x plus 4 over 3. So, and then you're going to replace that f inverse of x equal to x plus 4 over 3. Number 3, what? Number 4, what?
4. Your steps.
F inverse of x. Do not read as f -1. I promise you I'll kick you. I'm live streaming this.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Mr. A, why do you switch it with Y?
I switch X and Y.
Yeah, but like, what's the like reasoning behind that?
We'll talk about that. You guys got it?
No, go on.
So let me give you something that's harder. That was easy.
That's awesome.
Ayla, get the glasses, dude.
Hello.
You cannot squint your eye like you're blinking. You're Korean. You cannot squint your eye more.
I thought that was 4.
That's why I said it, see? I mean, part of it is she can't see, and the other part is you write horribly.
It's okay, guys.
My handwriting's better looking than you. That's all that matters.
You live by the rest of your life. You know, this morning I woke up and I was like, my tummy hurts. I went to the toilet. I dropped something, kind of looked like you.
That was a good one.
Get it? I'm saying it. Wait, hold on, ready? Imagine it's the microphone, Jay.
Oh, that's.
God. Anyway.
All right, so this one's a little bit hard. You have to switch all the X and Y. Be careful. Yeah.
How do you exactly solve inverse function or graph it out?
We will talk about that. Not yet. But you can solve, right? Can you solve F inverse of X here? Because you have to solve for that new Y. In this case, you have multiple Y, but you have to make it become one Y. Which is kind of like a pig problem. 5?
Okay, I don't think
It's not right. It should be a function.
I didn't change.
And this is on AP exam, so write it down. This is on AP exam, and also on my exam. This for sure on AP exam. Inverse. Did somebody say F of -1 power somewhere? Chase?
Okay, go right now.
Wait, so you won't beat him, but you'll beat me.
I'm too far from me. I'm too lazy to walk there. You are very close by. That's the reason why you're sitting next to me, so I can beat you.
Sneak attack. Alright, can you go do the problem? No idea.
How many of you guys got it done? Okay, let's see. All right, so we change that to Y.
Right, let's go.
And we switch all the X and Y, so Y becomes X. And this becomes Y, right? And we say there is a Y here, and there's a Y here. It looks like a pig problem from your last test. And so then we get rid of fraction by multiply both sides by Y minus 3. So be X times Y minus 3 is equal to 2Y. Is that okay? Now the Y is still inside here. Do you see that the Y is inside the parentheses? So I can distribute. Now I can move all the Y to the other side. So that's minus XY on both sides. So that's going to be minus 3x equal to 2y minus xy. Is that okay? I can, now those 2y on two separate terms, I can factor out. And y is equal to negative 3x over 2 minus x. Is this okay or no? Let me double make sure.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. 3x x1 is 2. It's the same thing as 3x 2 minus x.
Okay, so that's a good question. Why are they the same thing? Remember that negative sign can float down? Because this negative sign, you can float down here. Right? You can float down here. So that's going to be 3x over. And if you float down, that's going to be 2 minus x, right? So that's going to be 3x over x minus 2 if you distribute it. But this is different than before, right? Before it's 2x over x minus 3, and this one's 3x over x minus 2. And this one you're going to put as f inverse of x is 3x over x minus 2. Does that make sense? This is how you find inverse function.
I have a question.
Yes.
You get 3 to the other side, you have to divide by negative 3, yes?
To get which 3?
The negative 3.
Uh,
Negative 3x.
negative 3x. No, I don't need to get it the other side. I'm dividing 2 minus x on both sides. So here I'm dividing 2 minus x on both sides.
Wow.
Like this. Because I want to isolate the y. I want to isolate this. So I move everything multiplication move to the other side. It becomes division. Is this okay? Is this okay or no? All right, so
So the answer is y equals negative 3x over
Where's the negative on
2y.
somebody say something. Josiah, you say something.
Oh, you distributed the negative to the one.
I choose the negative sign can flow. When I'm talking about flow, they can flow downward and they can distribute and still gonna be the same expressions. Yes.
Do we have to bring it?
No, but answer choice, if it's a multiple choice, answer choice usually prefer has less negative signs. That's just a tendency. So if you have multiple choice, you're gonna have either or, but more likely it's gonna be the 1 and 3x over x minus 2. But you could possibly says it's negative 3x over 2 minus x, but you have to recognize they are the same. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's give you a try. That's one more question. Let's give you a try. F of x equal to 2x minus 1 over 7x plus 3. And we want to see if you can do the same thing. It's roughly the same questions, the same idea, and you just need to figure out what the f inverse of it. check each other, see what they get. This will be an easy question on the test.
Which one?
Anthony and Robert move up to, let's see. If Ida's move up because Ida cannot see. She's blind.
Aha.
That's okay. You can sit there because you cannot see. You're blind.
Huh?
Do you usually wear contact or no?
Usually wear contacts for glasses.
Two options if you're not right.
I believe it is. Gabe believes it is.
25.
Do you wrestle with the glasses?
No. I'm blind, but they're in front of me. That could be
Oh
possible.
my gosh, smart.
The amount of times that my face is shoved into the map.
So you just sub through
All right. Shh. Hopefully you got the same thing with each other, but I'm gonna make sure.
It sounds like
So I'm gonna move the 3x to the other side, so it'll be 2xy minus 2y equal to negative 3x minus 1.
It's a 7.
Which one's 7? I can't read my own handwriting. This one's 7y, right?
Yes, 7
straight. Come on. It's bad enough. We don't know what you're writing, but you don't know what you're writing.
And then this is
Wait, why did you get
Okay. Any question about this? Do you get the same thing?
Do you have to simplify it more? Like, can you? Because you can, right? Like, you have to.
I mean, you don't have to. You can say that's equal to 3x minus 1 over 2 minus 7x. That's 3x plus 1, sorry.
Yeah.
All right, so yes. Why do I switch what? I switch position because I want this y to be this size, so I subtract 2y on both sides. But I also subtract 3x on both sides to move the 3x to the other side. Yeah, if you move to this side, it becomes negative. This move, this become negative. So it'll be you see, you subtract both to become negative. That's what happened. All right, how much time I have? 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Okay, we're gonna teach you how to find even and odd functions. What? Yes, I can teach you anything in 30 seconds.
How do I get a girlfriend?
That gonna be like years.
So therefore you're a liar.
I am.
Another one.
That's why you never overpopulate your resume. Start asking to do things you don't want to do.
All right. So how do I tell if it is even and odd function? Even and odd function is very easy to tell, but so let's talk about definition. This is in pre-calc now, because in algebra you don't teach even and odd function, so you're gonna have to pay attention here. Basically, the f of negative x is equal to the original f of x, then this is called a even. So this is a test for even function. And if I plug in negative x, it gives you opposite than original function. Then that's called odd function. And then even function has some type of symmetry. So symmetry to y-axis. This is symmetry to origin. What is origin? 0, 0. Origin. So how do I tell if this function is symmetry? Now you're gonna see that there's some even and there's some odd, like even power and there's odd power. And you say, well, is this even or odd function? Now you can have neither. If neither even or odd, it's just gonna turn to some other function. So if you have f of negative x, it does not equal to either one, then this neither now even, which is 99% of function is neither even or odd. So 99%. So how do I tell if this even or odd? We're gonna say, hey, let's plug in negative x into the function. Wherever you have x, you're gonna replace with negative x. So that means it's gonna be negative x to the third power over negative x to the second power minus 1. Now I'm gonna simplify the top. What's on the top? Negative times negative is what?
Negative.
So it'll be negative x cubed, right? And on the bottom, it's going to be negative x squared. It's going to be what? And then I can put a negative sign in front of it. So it'll be x cubed over x squared minus 1. And this becomes the original function, right? So would that be negative of f of x? So if this is true, is this even or odd? Odd. So this is odd functions.
Mr. Ed,
If you graph it, there's going to be a symmetry to origin. Yes.
so you took out the negative of just the top?
Yes, because on the bottom it's already look like original function. If that negative sign just means that negative 1 times the whole function. So I'm gonna put it in the front so that way we know it's matching to this because it's negative of every time.
Can you go off a little bit? This is the last problem.
Today is probably 3:20 to 3:30.
30 minutes.
3:20 to 3:30.
Oh, sorry.
So I better stay out.
Okay, all right. I wrote one of my other teachers said there's and now I have to go buy him.
Oh,
Mr. Davis.
Don't get sick, Dave.
yeah.
You print out every day. You print out a picture of your balls and send it to me. What?
Yeah, we did.
It's possible you learn that, but
One is like this. That's an odd function.
No. But we're gonna talk about more detail.
Why is separate the other thing? I just think separate drawing a pig.
I didn't pass anything back.